everybody, welcome to Destiny of Cards. Today we are doing a deck profile for Modified Deck, the Magic World 72 Kilos deck. It will be based on upgrades from the new set, Assault of the Omi lot, that you can get from the official retailers. So this is the flag and the body. We will further explain the body later on. Now we start with size 3 monsters. Firstly, we run this new Omi lot from the new set. Second Omi lot, Demon lot, Asmodai. So basically, it's a size 3 monster with 5000 power, 1000 defense, and critical 3. So you have a cast cost or core cost of 2 gauge. So 2 gauge is to call this very big monster of 50,000 power and 10,000 defense monster. So you have this effect of penetrate, counter attack, and link attack of 2. Life link of 2. So its effect is, if this card will leave the field, you can discard 2 cards from your hand and pay 1 gauge. If you do, prevent this card from leaving the field. So basically, this is how you can activate the counter attack. So you just discard 2 cards and pay 1 gauge. You basically will remain on the field and you have counter attack. Next, we run 2 copies of Champion Wrestler Asmodai. So it's a size 3 monster with 9000 power, 1000 defense, and critical 2. So this has a core cost of 2 gauge, and you have the keyword of double attack. Okay, so his effect is when this card enters the field, you can discard any number of cards from your hand. So for each card you discard, you can destroy 1 card on opponent's field. So remember this card. So you can destroy equally set spells or even weapons. Next, we will now talk about the body itself. 4 copies of Dance Asmodai. It's a size 2 monster with 6000 power, 1000 defense, and critical 2. Its core is pay 1 gauge, and when you enter a field, draw a card. So this is one of the draw mechanisms, so that you can actually replenish your hand in preparation of summoning Asmodai. Next, we have another size 2 monster with similar effect as Dance Asmodai. So Gusions have this power stats of 3000 power and 3000 defense with critical 2. So you have a lower power, but you have a higher defense compared to Dance Asmodai. So the effect is much better. It's when you enter a field, pay 1 gauge. So there's no core cost for this card, but in order for you to draw the card, you pay 1 gauge. Next, we'll move on to size 1 monster. So this new card, Follow a Gap, is from the new expansion. So this card is basically one of the good 72 pillars. There's a double R. So if you have size 3 monster on the field, meaning that let's say you have Asmodai on your field, basically this card is size reduced by 1, so it's a size 0. So yeah, so you can have both this card and Asmodai on your field, or even Wrestler Champion. Okay, so the main effect here is pay 2 life. Okay, and if you do, choose one 72 pillars card. So you can choose a monster that's 72 pillar, or a spell that's 72 pillar, or even an impact that's 72 pillar from the drop zone back to your hand. So this effect can only be used once per turn. Lastly, we'll move on to the last monster. The last monster on the field, size 0, with 1000 stats, 2000 stats of both attack and defense, and critical 1. So this card effect is basically a wizard, the only wizard in this whole 72 pillar deck. Yeah, but we mainly just using for its effect, because its effect is allow you to, when this card is discarded from your hand, pay 1 life and draw 1 card. So Asmodai himself has this card effect, same for Wrestler Asmodai, because you also have discard hand. So when you discard for one of them, you can actually pay 1 life and then you can draw a card. Now I move on to spell cards. We run the most staple card for all Magic World, Nice One. So pay 1 gauge, draw 2 cards. You only can use once per turn, 1 card, Nice One. Next, this new spell card that's from new set. Basically, that's how I roll. It's basically a spell card that let you counter attack, counter nullify the attack. So it's a negation spell when your size 2 and above monster is being attacked. So you can, instead of discarding cards from your hand for Asmodai himself, you can actually use this spell so that you don't have to discard card and nullify it. Next, we run 4 copies of Key of Solomon First Volume. So basically, this effect is put 2 cards into the top of your, from the top 2 cards of your deck into the gauge. Next, we run 4 copies of Magical Kubai, another staple card for a Magic World deck. So basically, return a size 2 monster on the field to the owner's hand. Next, we run Abracadabra, which is a counter spell of paying 2 gauge, and then when an opponent casts a spell, you can nullify that spells. So it's a very good final turn kill. Next, we run 3 copies of Oops. So 3 copies of Oops is also a pay 2 gauge, but this card can return a monster, spell, or item back to the owner's hand. Next, we run 2 Check It Out. So Check It Out is also another card that runs 2 gauge, paying 2 gauge, and then but this effect is when you can return a monster back to your hand and then summon a monster from your hand by paying a call cost. So basically, maybe your opponent want to attack your champion wrestler, you can return back to hand and call your Dust Asmodai and draw a card. Next, we have 2 Chulax. Yes, another staple card from Magic World deck. So basically, pay 1 gauge and then counters. The counter effect is reduce the damage that you receive to 0 and then give 1 life. Lastly, we run 2 Solomon Shield. So basically, this is another nullified spell. So long the attack is not a link attack, you can just nullify the attack. Lastly, for impact, we run 2 copies of Diabolic Hardcore. So basically, it's a pay 3 gauge, deal opponent 3 damage. So it's a very good card, especially if let's say you can spam by reducing your life to take back Diabolic Hardcore. Because if this card is a 7-2 pillar, so you can actually take this card back. Then you can pay 3 gauge and then deal opponent 3 damage. Maybe your opponent left with 3 damage, you can actually use this card. Just instead of attacking him, you can just pay 2 gauge, take back your impact card and final turn him. So we hope that you enjoy today's deck profile of the new 7-2 pillar updated from the newer set. Please like and subscribe to the channel and do share the video. And please post in the comment section below if you have any deck profile or battle that you like to see. See you until next time.